Right now, the day's biggest news stories from a Vegas perspective. This is the Vegas Take with Sharp and Shapiro.
Oh, yeah. What's up, Vegas? It is the Vegas Take on a Thursday morning. Sharp and Shapiro. Glad you could join us. It's a bright and sunny day out there. You got to be happy, right? It's a bright, sunny day in Vegas in December. God, I just can't believe it. Christmas right around the corner. President Trump getting impeached might be around the corner, too. I'll explain that in a couple seconds. But this is going to be a lot of fun. Coming up on the show, we got some great guests. You heard him right before our show. You hear him hopefully before our show every day. And, of course, he's a co-host of Fox and Friends on Fox News. He's got a new book out called Sam Houston and the Alamo Avengers. Brian Kilmeade himself will be joining us in hour number 2. Boy, do I have a lot of questions for him. Brian Kilmeade coming up, hour number 2. It's going to be a lot of fun. Of course, it is the weekly segment that we do, Dirty Dining, as we call it, where the places where you do not want to enter and eat food. Darcy Spears from ABC 13 will be joining us, talking a little bit about that. And another radio host pulling a Rush Limbaugh, making a racist comment about an NFL quarterback. You're not going to believe what this guy had to say. We will get into that in hour number 3 as well. But, of course, we are following the breaking news. And, of course, the breaking news involved Nancy Pelosi. This is Nancy Pelosi, in her own words, talking about articles of impeachment today, just a short time ago.
Sadly, but with confidence and humility, with allegiance to our founders and a heart full of love for America. Today, I am asking our chairman to proceed with articles of impeachment.
So that's what she announced a short time ago. This is not a surprise. Look, I've said this before and I'll say it again. There are people way on the right that say the president's phone call was perfect and he's done absolutely nothing wrong. And then there are extreme people on the left that want this guy in jail, not just impeached. And then there's people in the middle, both on the right and the left, that can all agree that the president of the United States, certainly what he did was not a perfect phone call. It was completely inappropriate. You should never be talking about American politicians and, withholding foreign aid. Completely inappropriate beneath the presidency. At the very least, people could agree on that, but they just won't agree whether this is an impeachable offense or not, and that's fine. That's a legitimate discussion. But like I said, there's people that are right-wing Looney Tunes that think the president's call was perfect, and then there's people way on the left that think he should go to jail for this. I think there's somewhere in between that people should meet. So what does this mean now? Well, it's going to get into the House. It's going to pass the House. Why? Because the House is comprised of 431 members. 233 of them are Democrats. But it's not going to pass the Senate. The reason why it's not going to pass the Senate is because we have 53 Republicans in there. 45 of them are Democrats. This is a very unlikely situation. Extremely unlikely situation. What also is extremely unlikely is that my co-host never shows up on time. That's also very unlikely, but he has graced us with his presence. That's a nice shirt you're wearing, actually. The Cosmopolitan, that's a great shirt. Do you not have any other shirts to wear today, or is that the casino shirt thing? Or
I'm being handsomely compensated to wear this shirt, Brian.
Oh, okay.
Handsomely compensated. Okay. Thank you, Cosmo.
So do you listen on the radio when you're driving into the show? Like, do you actually listen to me to help our ratings, or do you not even do that?
I do not do that, no.
So you don't. So when you're showing up late and you're in your car,
I actually might listen to a different station on my way down here. It might be music.
Oh, well, that's cool. So
it's Sirius satellite radio.
And
right now it's the Hallmark channel.
So you have absolutely no idea what I was just talking about as you walk into the studio.
Well, of course I know about Nancy Pelosi trying to draft articles of impeachment.
Well, she's not trying to. She announced it today.
She's asking them to be drafted.
So if you weren't listening to me in the car, then how do you know what I was talking about? I'm confused. Are you lying to me?
So our producer, for those who don't know, sends us an email every night.
Oh, a cheat sheet.
Before
All right.
the show begins. And I actually can read. And I was able to read that email and figure out what we were discussing.
I never said you
particular day.
I never called you Floyd Mayweather. I never said you couldn't read. Clearly, you can't show up on time, but I'm glad you can read though. Can you read a clock?
I can.
So what happened this morning?
Today?
Yeah, I think the audience deserves to.
Rough one. I had to take my wife and I had to take our daughter to the ER. At 5:30 in the morning.
That's horrible.
Got back at 6:15. Fell back asleep.
All right, that's not funny.
Slept a little late.
All right, no, that's not funny.
We have two cars, but the keys, since I had 6 kids
Yes.
at my house the last weekend, the keys to the Escalade are gone.
Okay,
I cannot
well, I
find
can't
them,
listen.
so I only have 1 car.
I can't make fun of you for that. It's
Yeah,
not
feel
funny.
free. You're
So-
welcome
No,
to.
I can't make fun of you for that, so I'm not going to talk about it anymore with you on the radio because it's not funny.
I really appreciate
All
that.
right, yes, that's not funny. I hope your kid is okay. But anyway, we were talking about how this is going to pass the House, the impeachment situation, but it's not going to pass the Senate because there's just too many Republicans in office. Yeah, in the rare instance that it did happen, Vice President Mike Pence would become president the remainder of Trump's term, which obviously ends January 20th, 2021. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't like Mike Pence probably any more than I like Donald Trump. So we're going to continue to monitor this, but this is not a shocker to anybody. Nancy Pelosi proceeding with articles of impeachment, and we'll continue to see where this goes. And we'll ask Brian Kilmeade about that in hour number 2. But I want to talk a little bit about Hillary Clinton. I don't talk about her very much. And the reason why I haven't talked about Hillary Clinton a lot, really ever, is because I never really liked her. I always considered her a phony, fake politician. I did not vote for her in 2016. I did not vote for her when she was running against Barack Obama in the Democratic Party. And again, I never thought she was a great candidate. I always considered her phony. And I recently had a discussion about this with Michael Avenatti in regards to how these Democrats, they need to go on Fox News. They need to get out of their comfort zone, right? A lot of these Democrats running for president go on the Howard Stern show. Go on shows where you reach a different audience. Hillary Clinton never did that in 2016, and I thought that was a big mistake. And I've always considered Howard Stern one of the best interviewers, if not the best, in the world. And for whatever reason, it's taken this many years for Hillary Clinton to do the Howard Stern show. She did it yesterday, and I got to tell you something. For the first time for me personally, I think we finally saw who the real Hillary Clinton is. She was relaxed. She answered all of Howard Stern's very personal questions. And we saw a side to her, at least for me, that I've never seen before. I didn't see Hillary Clinton yesterday on the Howard Stern show as a politician. I saw her as a very intelligent woman who's lived a pretty interesting life, and I thought she was very candid and very honest on the show. She talked about her relationship over the years with Bill Clinton. She talked about her popularity in high school. She even talked about whether she's ever had a female sexual experience. Yeah, she answered that question, as I think many people would not have answered it and would have said, none of your business. Then she talked about Donald Trump, and she talked about that fateful day for her when she learned that Donald Trump defeated her. She talks about the personal phone call she had with Donald Trump, congratulating him, and what was said in that conversation. So there's some really interesting stuff in this interview. And I'm not ready to say that if Hillary Clinton ran for office that I would vote for her, but I will clearly say I have a lot more respect for her today than I did in the past because I finally saw an honest side to her that I never saw when she was running for president. And I want to play a few clips from this interview because I think it's fascinating and it's interesting. And I want to start with, some of the Donald Trump stuff because I believe this is cut 8 where Donald Trump wins the election. And literally within an hour after Donald Trump wins the election, Hillary Clinton gives him a call. Here's what she had to say about that.
I said, look, Donald, I want you to be a good president. I will do whatever I can to help you. So, we're in that period.
Was he gracious or was he a sore winner?
He was so shocked he couldn't, he could barely
form a
talk.
sentence.
He was as shocked as you.
Right.
He was more shocked than me, I think.
Wow.
But,
He was shocked.
Yeah, he was shocked.
Yeah, and when you see that day and the day after what Donald Trump looked like, he was in complete shock. I don't think he ever imagined that he would actually win. And he was kind of like in a trance. And I remember when he visited Barack Obama in the White House, he was still shocked. He was still in a trance. Now she talks about the inauguration speech, the very famous inauguration speech, or lack thereof, that Donald Trump made when he won. And she talks about how, listen, as president and as a leader, you want to also talk to those people that did not vote for you. If you recall, Barack Obama did that the day he won. He said, listen, I know there's people out there that didn't vote for me, but I want you to know that I'm your president too, and I'm going to work for you. Well, Donald Trump kind of divided the country immediately as he was voted into office, and Hillary Clinton talks a little bit about that, his inauguration speech.
Then he started on that speech, which was so bizarre. And that's when I got really worried. I thought, wait a minute.
This isn't rational.
It's not rational, but it's also not politics. It's not what a president does. A president is supposed to try to reach out to people who weren't for
Right.
him or her. You're supposed to say, okay, I'm going to be the president of everyone, those who supported me and those who didn't, because we're going to pull the country together. I'd hope that I would hear a little of that. I didn't hear any of that. And then that carnage in the street and the dark dystopian vision, I was sitting there like just, wow, couldn't believe it. And George W. Bush says to me, well, that was some weird.
Wow.
I love that. I love that honesty. And I can totally picture George W. Bush saying something like that. And by the way, the Bushes and the Clintons and the Obamas get along better now than they ever have before, by the way. They really do. I find that to be very funny that George W. Bush says that to Hillary. I think that's hilarious. So obviously that was a difficult day for her. And she talked about how she felt, moments after she learned that Donald Trump had won the election. And this is cut, I believe, number 7.
Here's how I felt about it. I mean, obviously, I was crushed. I was disappointed. And I was really surprised because I couldn't figure out what had happened.
And you hadn't even written a losing speech when you lost that night. You had only had victory in mind.
No, and everything was pointed in that direction. So when he's going to be inaugurated, I was going as a former first lady.
Right.
That was the reason I was there. I was no longer in the Senate. I was secretaries of state don't usually attend, so I was.
But your sense of duty is my husband was president, I was first lady, and this is what we say to the country. There's continuity.
That is exactly how I felt.
Yeah, and I think she's being honest. I think she's telling the truth. But here's where the interview gets good, at least in my opinion, because this is where Howard Stern gets very personal with her, and these are the types of questions that Hillary Clinton has never been asked by a member of the media before. Because it would have been considered possibly inappropriate, right? It would have been considered out of bounds, so to speak. And you hear some hosts on Fox News yesterday, oh, my God, I can't believe Hillary Clinton went on the Howard Stern show. Shut up. Just shut up. I'm going to tell you something. If she did the Howard Stern show in 2016, I think she would have won the election. He has gazillions of people that listen to him, and you're reaching out to men, and those are the type of people that she needed to vote for her. It wasn't women, it was men. But anyway, Howard Stern is going to ask salacious questions. That is what he does. So he asked her, cut 6, if she's ever had a sexual experience with another woman.
Well, contrary to what you may hear, I actually like men.
Oh, right, yeah. That's the other thing.
That's the other thing.
You're a lesbian.
Thing,
women
right?
friends.
Yeah.
Raise your right hand.
Yeah.
You've never had a lesbian affair.
Never even been tempted.
That's nice to know. But, it's not really about whether we care whether she had a lesbian experience or not. It's the fact that she just answered the question. It's a side to her that we've never seen before. And she also went into dating Bill Clinton, but she spoke, cut 5, about the guy she dated before Bill Clinton. She was actually in love with somebody else before she met Bill Clinton in college.
I just liked him. He was a good guy.
Oh, he must have been so upset.
He was so handsome. He was really handsome. Really handsome. Yeah, he looked like a Greek god. He was really handsome.
No kidding. Greek god.
Yeah, he was very attractive.
I don't know. I'd listen to you.
Hillary's getting all wound up. She's getting all worked up sitting there talking about her first boyfriend.
She was romantically involved with an Adonis. That's kind of exciting.
But she talked a little bit about her dating life, before she met Bill, and here's what she had to say about that.
Boyfriends, yes or no in high school?
Boyfriends, yes.
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 Serious boyfriend?
No.
No one you ever said, I'm in love?
No.
You had not been in love yet?
No.
Bill was the first guy you loved?
No. There was somebody before him. Yeah.
Somebody before Bill that you would have considered marrying?
No. I would not have considered marrying.
But in love?
But in love.
We never hear about this guy. Oh, is this guy probably pissed he didn't close the deal,
He
right?
should have locked that down, right?
No.
He would have been at Oklahoma last night.
I dated a lot of different people, and I liked a lot of them.
You were popular.
I was pretty popular.
Right.
Yeah, I was okay popular.
Right.
Yeah.
Boys were not your problem.
Boys were not my problem.
Right.
But I had not, until I met Bill, met anybody that I thought I would ever marry.
Again, this is a side of Hillary Clinton that we've never heard before. And I believe there's a lot of women that are politicians. And whether Hillary gets back into politics, I don't know. But there's a lot of politicians that probably would not answer those questions candidly, and I certainly give her credit for that.
I have a very important question for you, Brian.
Yeah.
Do you think the number of men that Hillary Clinton has slept with is over 20?
I have no idea.
Based on that interview,
I have no idea.
She said she dated a lot of men.
I have no idea.
Do you think it's over 20? Do you think her,
no idea.
In man speak, we call it our number. Do you think her number is over 20?
Like I said, I have absolutely no idea. Bill Clinton's been with probably more than 20 women. I don't know. I don't know about Hillary, but the point I'm trying to make is not how many men she slept with, but the fact she is answering questions honestly and candidly, which is certainly a side of hers that I've never seen it. Maybe some others have. I haven't. So it didn't end there. Then she talked to, there was a lot of rumors and books and stuff about how Hillary met Bill Clinton. And there was this rumor that she was staring at him in a library and he was staring back at her. So she tried to clear up those rumors on how she met Bill. Here it is.
I said, if you're going to keep staring at me and I'm going to keep staring back, we ought at least to know each other's names. I'm Hillary Rodham. Who are you? So that's how I met him. That's how I met him.
I do kind of like
nervous
that.
doing that?
No.
Oh, my God.
No.
I would never have the guts to even walk up to a woman. So the fact that you could do that. But it is a vulnerable position. Because he could have said to you, oh, I'm not staring at you. Get lost.
Yeah, he could have.
Right.
He could have.
Because he could have been ashamed and embarrassed.
Then I would have known right then he wasn't worth the time.
So there's more cuts we could play from the interview because I thought it was pretty good and it was fascinating. Like I said, it was a side of Hillary Clinton that many of us have never seen before. I never supported her for the main reason of I picture her kind of as an Elizabeth Warren in this sense that she's kind of phony. She doesn't resonate. I don't know how honest she is. But I'll tell you one thing about Hillary Clinton. You can't say she's not an intelligent woman. You can't say she's not well educated. She's extremely smart. Extremely smart. And yeah, I thought her husband was a pretty decent president who reached across the aisle, got along with a lot of Republicans. Now, yes, you make the argument what he did in the Oval Office, cheating on his wife, bad, even though Donald Trump has done it time in and time over. And you could also make the argument that the reason why Hillary Clinton stuck around with Bill Clinton was maybe for her own personal gain to run for president someday. I don't know. I'm surprised she stuck around with him, but that's her personal business. I don't understand it, but that's her personal business. But I'm going to tell you right now, this morning, I have a lot more respect for Hillary Clinton than I have in the past because I thought she was very open. She was very honest. How often do we see that from a politician? And I'm not even talking about answering the dirty questions, right? Like, are you a lesbian? Have you ever been with a woman? I'm not even talking about stuff like that, although I was impressed that she had no problem answering. I'm talking about the questions of, were you popular in high school? Did you go out with a lot of people? Those types of questions. Tell me about a personal phone call. And she talked in this interview about a personal phone call she had with Barack Obama a day after Obama won the election. And remember, they ran fierce campaigns against one another, Obama and Clinton. And this was the most fascinating part of the interview, in my opinion, because she says, it's one thing to have an opponent and lose to an opponent that you respect. And it's another thing to lose to someone that you don't respect. In that case, she's talking about Donald Trump. But she said Barack Obama gave her a call, who she said she has great respect for, and said, listen, I need you to be my Secretary of State. I can't do this alone. I need your help. Let me do this. Let me worry about the economy. And we need better relationships with leaders around the world. I need you to help me with that. And Hillary's response was yes. And Howard asked her why. She said, because he's not an insecure guy in Barack Obama, not talking about Donald Trump. He needed my help. He admitted he needed my help. The United States needed a better relationship with our leaders across the world. He needed me to do that for him. And he openly admitted that. He wasn't, afraid that I would steal the show. And I came on board with it. And again, she spoke highly of Barack Obama and the respect she has for him, even though she disagreed with him on a bunch of things. She respects him. So how many people across the aisle, how many Democrats respect Donald Trump? How many Republicans, although many of whom won't admit it, like the Lindsey Grahams of the world, actually respect this man, Donald Trump? So later on in this interview, Hillary Clinton has one of her coughing fits. We're going to play that when we come back. And apparently Tucker Carlson had nothing better to do on his show yesterday than have a specialist come on and analyze Hillary Clinton's coughs. That's right. We'll play that for you. We can't make this up. Brian Kilmeade coming up in hour number 2 as well. We're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we will have some cuts for you with Tucker Carlson, what he had to speak about last night on Fox News. We will take a quick break. We'll be back right after this. You're listening to the Vegas Take right here on the all-new 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDAWN. Thank you, Hillary. Glad we could clear that up. Welcome back. It is the Vegas Take, Sharp and Shapiro on a Thursday. By the way, coming up here at the top of the hour, we'll be speaking with Brian Kilmeade. Of course, you know him from Fox and Friends, Fox News, and of course he does his radio show before ours. So looking forward to speaking to him about his new book. Boy, plenty of questions I want to ask him about this impeachment inquiry, his thoughts on that. And I guess fake news, media. You know, he's been doing it a long time. We'll ask him plenty of questions coming up here in just a little bit. Rounding out the interview that Hillary did with Howard Stern yesterday, and that's what we've been talking about. She does have coughing fits from time to time. I think anybody that speaks as much as she does, I cough all the time. I'm on the radio 3 hours a day. You know, we're going to cough once in a while. So this is Hillary Clinton getting into a little bit of a coughing fit on the Howard Stern show yesterday.
You have to announce to someone, I'm going to go see Oklahoma the play.
Right.
And then they have
yeah. Then they make a big deal out of it.
I know. I feel like I need to give you a cough drop or something.
I got one.
You
Thanks.
okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Yeah. Even that, I remember, if you even coughed when you were on the campaign, they said you were dying. You were dying. You can't even cough.
I know. I thought I'd come on.
Yeah.
And cough some more.
So she's being kind of funny about it. But, you know, it's not like there's anything else to talk about on Fox News, right? Not like there's an impeachment inquiry going on. Not like the president's in any sort of trouble or anything. You know, let's talk about negatives when it comes to Hillary Clinton. So what is Tucker Carlson, the man who says that white supremacy is a hoax, the person who I believe should not be on the air? It is an embarrassment when you make a statement like that. And Tucker said a lot of dumb things on his show. That was certainly up there on the list. So what does Tucker Carlson decide to do last night? He decides to get a medical expert to come on his show to talk about Hillary Clinton's coughing habits. Like a doctor can tell what's wrong with Hillary by listening to a cough on a radio show or on a TV program. Anyway, this is Tucker Carlson and his medical expert on his show last night.
If she has a chronic recurrent phlegmy cough, a patient like that, I would want to make sure if they were coming to me, does she have an underlying tendency to a respiratory infection? This is the season for respiratory infections. Yes. Also in 2016, Tucker, she was known and repeatedly said that she liked to eat jalapeno peppers and drink coffee and drink alcohol. Well, all of those things can lead to a terrible amount of acid reflux, which causes cough, asthma too. So if I were her physician or someone like her, and we can do a public health service here, I'd say if you're coughing, recurrent coughing, get to be seen, have a pulmonary workup, make sure you don't have reflux, asthma, pulmonary infections, or stress.
I mean, are you kidding me? This is the guest that this isn't like some local show or, you know, some podcast. Tucker Carlson has one of the highest rated TV shows in the country. This is the guest he decides to have on when all this other stuff is going on. He decides to have a doctor to come on to talk about Hillary Clinton's coughing habits. And, of course, the straight and arrow and boring, some of them, hosts on Fox News decide to criticize Hillary Clinton for doing the Howard Stern show, which is absurd. Okay, Donald Trump. And, by the way, I have never criticized Donald Trump for anything he ever said on the Howard Stern show. Do you want to know why? Number one, because Howard's going to ask a lot of personal, revealing questions.
And you worship Howard Stern.
Well, let me finish what I was going to say. I respect Howard Stern a lot. What? Well, do you disagree with me? Do you fault Hillary Clinton for doing the Howard Stern show?
I don't fault her one bit, Brian.
Do you fault Donald Trump?
I think every politician should do it moving forward because Donald Trump has basically proven that America does not really, some people do, but the majority of America does not really care if you're a pious, uptight politician type. They really don't care. If you do things like go on Howard Stern's show.
What do you mean they really don't care if you're...
I mean, they really...
That's why Donald Trump won the election, because he's not uptight when it comes...
That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
so... That's exactly what I'm saying. America's not looking for that. They're looking for someone they can relate to.
And this is why I thought Hillary should have done this 2 years ago.
And going on a show like this finally, Hillary Clinton can be relatable to the majority of the United States.
Yeah. So what do you guys think about this? What do you think of Hillary Clinton's appearance on the Howard Stern show? I have more respect for her now than I did before. Yes, I do think Howard Stern is one of the best at getting the most out of the person he is interviewing. He's very good at that. But there are also people that have gone on his show that have kind of clammed up a little bit, particularly politicians. That was not the case with Hillary Clinton yesterday. Do you have any more respect for her for what she did yesterday? I certainly do, and I'm one of those people that did not vote for her. The number to call in if you want to be a part of the program is 702-257-5396. Again, that number if you want to chime in on this. Hillary Clinton, her comments. Does what she did on the Howard Stern show yesterday, does it make you respect her any more, any less? Do you think that other politicians, when they're running for office, should go on the Howard Stern show? Do you think it's a good idea? Again, that number to call if you want to be a part of the show is 257-5396. Again, that number, 702-257-5396. We've said it before, and I'll say it again. It is my personal opinion that she made a huge mistake by not doing the Howard Stern show in 2016. I believe that even somebody like Mike Pence, who I can't stand, who's anti-gay, anti any of these types of questions, I actually think it would help his profile if one day he decides to run for president, which I believe he will. One day for Mike Pence to do the Howard Stern show probably wouldn't be a bad idea. Again, that number to call is 257-5396, 702-257-5396. Your thoughts on Hillary Clinton's appearance on the Howard Stern show yesterday. Why don't we start off with Jimmy? Jimmy, thanks for calling in. What do you think about this?
Hey, what's up, Jimmy?
Not too much, other than the fiasco in Washington. But my opinion on Hillary Clinton is I have even less respect for her for going on the Howard Stern show because, like, he's just a shock jock. I mean, why would she go on there?
What do you think
he has his hookers and, like...
Not true. When was the last time you watched the Howard Stern show? Hold on.
That's not even close to true.
I haven't watched it since he went on, what was it, Cyrus Radio.
So it's called Sirius, and he doesn't just have hookers on his show. That is a factually inaccurate statement. He has everybody from politicians to former presidents to entertainers. And yes,
really?
yes.
Jimmy, basically anyone who is stopping in New York to do something of substance comes on his show.
Now, Jimmy, if you don't like his show, that's your opinion. That's fine. I think he's one of the best interviewers in the history of radio, and he's a pioneer, and that's just my personal opinion on him. Why would you have less respect for her? I don't understand that.
Well, I don't have, hardly no respect for the lady because, one, she's had a lot of people die around her and her husband.
So that's a conspiracy theory.
She's done a lot of crooked stuff.
That's a conspiracy theory. I know, but what you said, Jimmy...
It's not a conspiracy.
Yes, it is. Show me evidence. Okay, fine.
Every time somebody says something negative about a Democrat, it's a conspiracy.
No,
theory.
not true. Not true. So let me ask... first of all, that's not true. Second, hold on a second. I'm going to ask you a question. Let's debate this. That's fine. You think that Hillary Clinton is responsible for murdering people. So I ask you this specific question when you make an accusation like that. Number one, has she been convicted of a crime? Has she ever been charged with a crime of killing somebody?
Hold
on, I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet. Give me physical evidence. Okay, so give me. Okay, so if you're not a conspiracy theorist and you just called Hillary Clinton a murderer, okay, give me evidence.
Say she was a murderer. I said there's a lot of people that have died around her.
So you're inferring that she's responsible for people missing. Is that correct?
I think it's a good possibility.
Okay, so now that we've established that and you're not going to bounce your way around your stupid statement, give me evidence to support your claim that Hillary... Give me evidence, and give me facts, as you say, that you have that supports the fact that Hillary Clinton is a murderer. Because I'm sure there are many Republicans out there that would love to put...
You said that.
You just said... Okay, you are a moron, Jimmy. Jimmy, you are a moron. You just said on the air... just now, moments ago, I'm not making this up, that the Clintons are responsible for people going missing. Is that not what you just said? Everyone is missing, around the Clintons. That is making an inference to the fact that they're responsible for people gone. That is called a murderer, or that is called a kidnapper, whatever you want to call it. And when I ask you for specific evidence, you don't have it. That is why I call you a wacky right-wing conspiracy theorist. Goodbye. 257-5396.
The Seth Rich situation was kind of crazy. But, I want to talk about what I thought was really good about this Hillary Clinton interview. It's not the fact that she answered these very, very, interesting questions that where she opened up for her personal life, but it was the way that she answered those questions. She actually sounded like, the Rhodes Scholar that she is. She actually sounded like
She's a smart lady,
a highly educated individual, like her academic history presents. But when she was on the trail, when she was campaigning, she was just kind of screaming and yelling and attacking Trump. And when she's in a situation like this, a one-on-one scenario, she handled herself much, much better, and she sounded so much more intelligent.
Yeah, I agree. I thought she did a very good job. I agree. 257-5396. Let's go to Tommy. Tommy, you're next. What's up?
What's up, Tommy?
Hey, guys. What's happening?
Not much. What do you think about this interview, Tommy?
Well, I like Howard Stern. Been listening to him for years, and he has everybody on that show. Anybody that wants, anybody that's willing to jump into the ring with him,
Mm-hmm.
But Hillary Clinton, she just said, look, guys, the same thing I'm looking at. This lady, I'm not saying she's stupid. I'm thinking she's sly as a fox.
Yeah.
But the thing about her is a lot of, she's had a lot of crowds following her around for a while. And I wouldn't say politically she's done a lot of good things, especially when, like Haiti, when the island of Haiti got destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
And I sent $100 to the Clinton Foundation only because I had friends from there.
Yeah, right.
And those people didn't see one penny of it, guys.
Listen, Hillary Clinton.
Up somewhere,
Tommy, I don't disagree with you, and there's a reason why.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes, I do. Tommy, I do.
Following the lady.
Tommy, I do. And by the way, there's a reason why I never voted for Hillary. Not when she was running against Obama for the Democratic Party. And yeah, because I didn't think she was relatable, Tommy, and I think we agree, and I appreciate the phone call. I didn't think she was relatable. She sounded like a phony politician. She did in her speeches. I didn't like it.
Well, she sounded like a politician, and that's the whole problem.
Well, yeah.
And she tried to campaign as this polished career politician.
Let me tell you something.
And that's why Donald Trump blew her out of the water.
With millennials that are able to vote and all these other people, that's who you need to talk to. And when you talk like a politician in this day and age, you're probably not going to get elected. That's part of the reason why Donald Trump won. Hillary Clinton needed to do more of that. 257-5396. Let's go to Brian. Brian, you're next. What's up?
Hey, what's up, Brian?
Hey, good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Hey, JD, you amaze me sometimes with things you say because I don't think I've ever disagreed with what you said. And I know right now Brian's wants to kill me and thinking I'm some kind of conservative Republican, but I don't even consider myself independent, Democratic, or Republican. But I just want to say this. What Hillary Clinton said on Howard Stern's show kind of reminds me of the guy that's led a very terrible or suspicious or not too good of a life, and now he's kind of like on his last leg, or maybe let's say he's on his deathbed. So now all of a sudden he figures, something, maybe the spirit touched him, or maybe the spirit touched Hillary.
Brian, can I comment on that? Hang on the line, Brian.
He realized it's time to go, and she's going to be kind of forthcoming and truthful
Brian,
for the first time in her life.
And that might be possible, Brian. Hang on the line here for a second. Now, that might be hold on. That might be one reason. Let me give you another reason. Maybe Hillary Clinton realized, oh, shoot, I made a mistake. I need to talk to these middle-aged men, many of whom I would imagine might be liberal or Democrat, and I need to go on the Howard Stern show. It's a mistake. I should have done it 3 years ago, and you know what? Whether I run for office or not, I'm going to do it now, and I'm going to give it a shot. Isn't that possible, Brian?
I agree with you, Brian, but here's the thing, so you're inferring that she still has some kind of political ambition when you say
yes,
that.
I do.
I think she definitely does.
I do. And if she doesn't,
I mean, look, let's just put it this way. I've called you guys quite a few times, and I made this statement, no president ever changed my life, because if you're really honest with yourself, if you want to do something in this country,
you can do it.
It's not going to be decided by the president.
Right.
But that being said, I'm going to say this. The political atmosphere nowadays, I wish they would just kind of reboot the whole thing, and I am really, really in favor of limiting the terms on these people.
Brian,
you see these guys for decades.
Yeah, Brian, let me tell you something, man, and I appreciate the call, by the way, Brian.
Yeah, great call, Brian.
I could not, I know you're going to be shocked to hear this, Brian. I could not agree with you more. You are absolutely 100% right. These term limits. And you know what? There's some Republicans that are saying that. There's more Democrats saying that than Republicans these days, but I agree with you 100%. 257-5396 is the number to call. That's 702-257-5396. Let's go to James. James, you're next. Go ahead.
What's up, James?
Hi. How you doing?
Good.
Doing great.
Great. My name is James Ebert. I'm a United States Marine.
Thank you for your service, sir.
Once a Marine. Thank you. Always a Marine. Benghazi is a fact. She would not answer the door, nor would President Barack Obama. And there were more than just the ambassador that was killed there. They would not send the troops in to stop that massacre.
Okay, James, let me just ask you a question then. With all due respect, there were 8 Republican investigations into Benghazi, all of which cost taxpayers a lot of money, and there was no wrongdoing found, no criminal activity, no wrongdoing found. 8 Benghazi investigations. So what do you say to that?
Well, being a Marine and knowing that war is war, terrorist is terrorist, the sad thing is, and that's a political program.
But 8 Republican. But whoa! What do you mean that's a political? Again, with all due respect, 8 Republican investigations. Republican. They were trying to find anything they could to get Hillary and Obama on something. They couldn't find anything. So what do you mean that political? They tried to. So if you're going to criticize, look, Hillary Clinton, again, I didn't vote for her. But in this situation, I'm going to defend her. Listen, there's no question that mistakes were made. It's horrible that 4 people lost their lives. It's horrible when 1 person loses their life, James. And you're a veteran, and I appreciate your service to this country. But why, after 8 Republican investigations, would you still continue to go on this side of Obama and Hillary did this, this, and this? It was investigated.
I have to first admit, the first 4 years, and I voted for Obama, for change. And the first 4 years was okay. The second 4 years was not okay. The fact that John Kerry and Hillary and Obama were in control at different times in different positions, and John Kerry is a great veteran also.
Sure.
I feel that door should always been open, and what happened, because they got no response from D.C.,
right?
What happened is the Black Ops took it upon themselves and told their leader, we're going in.
James, I understand that, and I apologize, James, but I have to get to some other callers. I don't want to do 15 minutes on Benghazi, but I will say this.
Good call, James.
And thank you for your service, but the bottom line here is there were 8 investigations. 257-5396, the number to call. Let's go to Ron. Ron, you're next on the Vegas Take. Go ahead.
What's up, Ron? Don't scream.
Good morning, gentlemen. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Doing great.
I'm going to add to the Benghazi thing. You see, everybody says these guys were killed, they were killed. But you guys probably never saw it. You know how they were killed? They went into a safe room in the middle of the embassy, and they were burned and cooked to death.
Yes, they were.
Room.
And it's horrible.
They were not killed. They were cooked to death, and it took hours for that to happen. And where was that pig bitch in New York City?
Did you just call Hillary Clinton a pig and a bitch?
She is a pig, bitch, enabler, and she's a pimp for her husband, yes.
She's a pimp.
She went to the island with Jeffrey Epstein, and they got proof of it.
So, Ron, could I ask you a question, Ron?
They had their own cabana and everything.
Okay, so let me ask you a question, Ron. Would you admit that Donald Trump also had personal relationship with Epstein?
He was not president when this happened.
It doesn't matter whether you're president or not. It doesn't matter.
I'll agree with that, Ron.
Ron?
You're twisting everything around.
But
Ron?
Clinton's relationship was much more aggressive than Donald Trump.
You start off the conversation. Okay, pot him down. Okay, pot him down. Ron, you started off the conversation talking about how these 4 individuals that lost their lives were cooked alive. Yes, they suffered a very painful death. That still doesn't make anything better or worse for Hillary Clinton. The fact of the matter is that there were 8 investigations, and I'm not going to continue to talk about that. There were 8 Republican investigations into Benghazi, all finding no wrongdoing between Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama. I'm not sure what else you want me to say. Would you like to talk more about the Mueller report? And you want to talk about how that was impeachable and Trump should have been impeached? No, your response would be the report came out, and they did not find enough wrongdoing to impeach the president. Same thing here. 257-5396. Let's go to John. John, you're next. What's up?
What's up, John?
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Oh, I just called in because your original question was about Hillary on Howard Stern, and
yes,
I thought
it was
fabulous. So let's get back on subject. I thought it was fabulous. I think she should have done that during her campaign.
Agree.
Howard has a way of interviewing like it's talking to somebody who came over to your house for dinner.
Correct.
That being said, her campaign, she came off probably like a middle school girl's dean.
Right.
And was often condescending.
You're right.
In that kind of setting,
She was
with
very
Howard
patronizing.
Stern, you're bringing her down to a regular person. I think more people would have related to that, and she probably would have done a lot better had that been the case.
You are 100% correct, John. I agree. And let me ask you this, because I've said it even today. Many of these Democrats need to go on Fox News. I don't know why they're afraid to. Just like I would say many Republicans need to go on MSNBC or CNN. Would you agree with that, John?
Well, I do agree with it, but when it's a discourse about issues, the problem with Fox News, you go on Hannity shows, he doesn't let them speak.
If he disagrees with them, yeah, you're probably right.
I know he just doesn't let them talk. I mean, he shuts people down. He is just an ignorant ass. But Bill O'Reilly was a little bit better about letting people talk, but unless you were guaranteed you'd be able to say what you want to say.
Yeah. Or unless you were, or John.
They're very hypocritical.
Or John, unless you were an attractive female that was willing to sleep with Bill O'Reilly or go on a date with him. Yeah, exactly. John, appreciate the phone call. Thank you.
Hey,
I got about
good call, John.
We got to take a break, but I got about 1 minute for Anthony. Anthony, what's up?
What's up, Anthony?
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
I just wanted to say I did listen to the interview. There's a reason why the lady was, 67% approval rating as Secretary of State and 60% as a senator when she left her seat.
Yeah.
The woman is great at what she does, and she should have done that during her campaign because that was the only weak link, that they held her so tight, they wouldn't let her be who she is.
Yeah,
right?
and I think you can see in that interview, JD's right. She showed that she showed. I mean, look, we all knew before this, unless you're biased. She's obviously an intelligent woman, but you really saw that. You saw that side to her and her openness, the real Hillary Clinton.
And it was not forced.
Yeah, and there was nothing phony in that interview, and that's what I loved about it. You know, Anthony.
I think every Republican senator that when she was in the Senate, loved it. They all had high praise when she left that seat.
Right.
So, again, she proved the point again with that interview. Howard Stern is pretty good at what he does,
Yeah,
I mean,
I think he's the best.
I'm used to the other side, but that guy's great. He did a great job.
I agree,
All
Anthony.
right, guys.
Thank you for the call,
Thanks
Anthony.
a lot,
We
Anthony.
appreciate that. There are a lot of people out there, the Mike Pences of the world, right, the ultra-religious right, that have attacked Howard Stern for years. This man is the best interviewer in all of radio and in all of TV, as far as I'm concerned. And just as if it was Hillary Clinton, it could have been Lindsey Graham or anybody on the right, and he would have done the exact same thing. He would have done a great job, and we got to take a break. Hey, this is going to be fun, JD. We got Brian Kilmeade coming up next. Kilmeade, as you know, does the show here at KDWN right before our show. And we enjoy stealing some of his listeners, but he's also got a new book out. It's called Sam Houston and the Alamo Avengers. He's going to be joining us next. Plenty of questions to get to with Brian Kilmeade. You're listening to Sharp and Shapiro right here on the all-new 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDON.